This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on drug-free India, drug trafficking and national security. The participants are Executive Director, Society for Promotion of Youth and Masses, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, and Aditi Tandon, journalist.
Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday addressed a very important second regional meeting on drug trafficking and national security in Guwahati. Dr. Kumar, as we know that the regional meetings on drug trafficking issues have been almost institutionalized now. And there's a great focus on blocking the chains of drug traffickers and also finding their links to internal problems and also to insurgency. So yesterday when Amit Shah was addressing this meeting, he made it very clear that the fight against drugs cannot be fought by the center alone and that every state government has to pitch in this fight. How do you look at the overall scenario of drug trafficking in the country, the patterns and their links to internal and external security?
This is a very, very positive step for reducing vulnerability as a country, because we are a transit country and consumer country both. In fact, on the eastern side, Myanmar, Laos and Thailand, these are the countries which are generally called Golden Triangle, and we receive a lot of opium or opiates, heroin, types of drugs from eastern part of the country. And unfortunately, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram, these are the three states which are highly affected because they are not only the transit route, but they are now consumer also. Similarly, on the western side, that is Afghanistan, Pakistan and Iran, these are the three countries which again produces maximum opium and heroin. And please remember, on our western side, we have a rogue country which creates a lot of problem for a country like India, which is a very peaceful country. And they have been trying to push drug in India. So unless and until we reduce the supply, and national security is directly linked with supply and demand of drug use and drug supply. The reason is, I give you a simple example. One person consumes drug around 1,000 to 1,500 rupees a day. When I'm saying drug, mostly I'm talking about the heroin or heroin-related substandard drugs. So if India has around 2.5 crore drug users, those who are using heroin or opiates, so you can imagine the amount of money being pumped to the underworld. And this has a direct implication on India's security. Punjab alone, there was a study which was conducted by All India Institute of Medical Sciences, my organization SPYM and Ministry of Social Justice, which estimated around 2,000 crore alone is given by the Punjab drug user to Pakistan. That money goes to various rogue agencies based in Pakistan or in Afghanistan. So it's very, very important and paramount. And now globally it is established that narco-terrorism is something which needs to be addressed. UN is addressing it. All the top international countries, those who are interested in supply reduction, they are addressing it. And the initiative of Government of India in last 3 years have started yielding result. You might have seen a lot of seizures all over the country of heroin is taking place thanks to the great effort by all the agencies, including Narcotics Control Bureau, Border Security Force, CRPF and local police agencies. So it is important to reduce drug supply and it is directly linked with the national security.
Very well articulated, Dr. Kumar. Now coming at the various drug trafficking routes, you mentioned the areas that increase India's vulnerability on the west and the eastern fronts. But if you look at the Narcotics Control Bureau's latest annual report, they have flagged certain very important trends, which I'm sure, Dr. Kumar, you would have also seen. They have said that drug trafficking through sea routes in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal are now estimated to account for around 70% of the total illegal drugs that are being smuggled into India. So, Dr. Kumar, this use of maritime routes by international drug syndicates, which are based primarily in Pakistan and Afghanistan, it's expected to increase in the coming days. What, according to you, is the preparation and readiness in our country to deal with this rising challenge?
See, earlier, drug used to come directly from Punjab, J&K and part of Rajasthan. Since Government of India and the state governments have increased their vigilance, increased their efforts to reduce, so what has happened now? Most of the drug cartels based in Pakistan or in Afghanistan, they have started routing their drug through the sea route. And the Gujarat people were not aware that their land is also being used for the transit of drug supply in India. So not recently, in last 2.5 or 3 years, large number of consignments have been caught in the say Porbandar area, Kutch area, because drug suppliers understand that the people in Gujarat area are not very vigilant for drug trafficking. And now since they were not vigilant, so they were using this route. And that is the reason in recent days you might have read that 20,000 crores drug was caught at one particular port or in a particular area or in a particular district. So now this is being used, and it is not so easy to catch all of them because generally what happens, they bring drug from the mainland of either Afghanistan or Pakistan. A large ship is based somewhere in the area where countries do not have any jurisdiction. Then they use the small boats or small small donkeys to bring those drugs as a fisherman in a mainland like say the Mumbai or in Gujarat. So this is a recent trend which was not there 5 years back. So all the efforts, whatever we have on the land route, now that is being defeated by the sea route.
Also, Dr. Kumar, there is one more trend emerging in the drug trafficking trade. You remember during the COVID pandemic, there was some sort of a crackdown on drug traffickers also, and it was not such a good season for them. But then during that very time, apart from the sea route, we saw that use of couriers, parcels and postal services to smuggle drugs also went up drastically. I have some figures from the Narcotics Control Bureau trends which say that 300% was the rise in the drug trade through couriers and parcels in 2020 as compared to 200% in 2019. So you see, there is a meteoric rise, if you may say, in this kind of drug trade route. So the increased risk of couriers or of postal services is also being directly linked to the increased dark web activity in India.
Please understand why people are using all these channels or all these routes. The reason is there is a huge demand. Around 3 crore people are consuming heroin every day in the country. And it is a global estimate. You cannot catch more than 5% of the drug which is available in the market. So still 95% drugs are in the market. There are 3 new techniques, and it is not only for India. Like the large number of drug users in US, they are getting their drug through the couriers. So they are getting mostly drug produced in China or produced in some countries. There is a drug called fentanyl, which is so easy to sent from a country A to country B. Another disturbing trend is now the drug cartels are using, this is called drone. The drone goes from Indian side to Pakistani side and the drug is loaded on that particular drone and that comes back to the India. Then the tunnels are digged. Earlier it was only known to the US and Mexican border. Now that is happening on Indian borders also. So supply reduction, supply curtail has its own limitation. The most important and critical aspect is how we reduce our demand. And demand can be reduced only by 2 ways. Number one, those who are not using drug must not and should not use drug. That's one way. Another, those who are using drug, they should be provided treatment. They should be provided all the support to come out from the drug web. So these two are equally important. Otherwise, we will be fighting a losing battle because drug price in Afghanistan is around, say, 1 lakh rupees a kg. When it comes to India, it is between 3 to 4 crore rupees a kg. So much profit in it. And all the international cartels know how to make money, whether it is India, whether it's a US, whether it's a Europe. Because I have been working with these international agencies, I understand it's a global problem. So there has to be a global response. But global response is only supply reduction is not going to help. Demand reduction and supply reduction both are very critical. People will find new way. For example, a large number of people are caught in India, those who are coming from the Latin American countries, because India usually does not consume cocaine. Only what we get cocaine is from the Latin American countries. So people bring the cocaine in their body. So how many people we are going to scan at the airport? So, these are the new trend which is emerging globally.
Dr. Kumar, you just said that Indians have traditionally not consumed too much cocaine. But again, there is a new evidence emerging. If you look at recent drug haul trends, they tell you that among the drugs being smuggled into India in quantity, cocaine has seen the highest ever total seizure last year, which was 338 kg, followed by heroin, which is obviously being continuously pushed into India from Pakistan. That we all know. And a third number is marijuana, which is smuggled from Nepal and also illegally grown in India. How do you see these trends in the demand? How come cocaine is being smuggled more and more?
Because new affluent and young population, cocaine is a stimulant drug, which stimulates the activities of brain. So young population, those who have money, because cocaine is very expensive. So they are using cocaine. And usually people do not understand that cocaine is being used in India. So mostly the cocaine is coming either through the origin is Latin American countries, and it comes via either directly or via Africa. So most of the agencies were mostly focused on the eastern and western side of the border to contain the supply of heroin. So now since cocaine is coming in a big way, that's why there is more season. But this is just tip of the iceberg.
Coming to your very important point of demand and of treatment and rehabilitation, Dr. Kumar, if we focus inwards, of course, one is the bigger issue of containing the drug trafficking, but the other big issue is containing demand at home. If you go to the field, you look at the situation with drug rehabilitation centers, it's not a very happy situation. Although governments have tried time and again, to improve the services that are provided through these drug rehab centers. But you also know, you have worked on very important studies, that there is much is left to be desired.
I agree with you. See, the problem is drug unfortunately has a lot of stigma and discrimination related with this. So larger number of people, those who are using drug and the families, they hide it. Now, that's number one. Number two, when they are not able to manage and the family feels very uncomfortable, then only they are brought to the treatment center. Now, the treatment center people are not paid well. They are not well trained. They are not well oriented. And somewhere they lack the latest best practices globally which are happening. So due to which there is a not good quality treatment and rehabilitation services are available in the country, all across the country. Very few centers are there, those who are following the protocol which have been prescribed either by the international agencies or agencies like UNODC. So here Government of India has to invest a lot. Number two, since it is directly linked with the stigma, so we need to also address the stigma. Otherwise, initially when any family members someone is using drug in the family, generally mother and father, they will hide from the rest of the world. And if that is happening, then where the treatment will start, no one knows. And the treatment will start only when the situation has worsened. So quality treatment in all the districts of the country, and addressing stigma. These are the three important things which should be addressed by the Government of India. To address treatment and rehabilitation and recovery takes a lot of time. So we have to be patient for that.
Also, if you look at the drug rehabilitation landscape in the country, Dr. Kumar, not everybody consuming drugs comes from affluent families. It is also now a very pan-social strata problem. You find poor people taking drugs, you find slum children taking drugs, you find affluent children addicted, and you do not find the drug rehab center landscape catching up. Even for 1 month of rehab costs more than 1 lakh. So how can we improve treatment infrastructure with this kind of... So do you think government needs to invest more in this?
I agree with you. See, the drug treatment is a serious business. Unfortunately, unscrupulous people, they have started making money from this. The family is broke because the amount of money this person has wasted in drug use is enormous. They have become very violent for the family, and the family does not know what to do. Then only they dump this individual to a treatment center which is charging around 1 lakh rupees. And trust me, in those centers, they might not be treated. They might be kept as like a luxury spa. They go for the servicing and they come out. Treatment, scientific, credible, evidence-based treatment is the need of the hour. Government of India and state governments must invest money in the treatment, because if someone is in the treatment, you break the chain of addiction, because this person, if is still using drug, will make 7 to 8 people in a year's time a new drug user. For example, our organization SPYM, we run 3 treatment centers for children. 1 is for the girls and 2 are for the boys in conflict with law or not in conflict with law. Most of the kids say, sir, mere dost ne mujhe sikhaya. And now they have started using us to commit crime, to do the peddling, the transporting drug from place A to place B. So investment in treatment is very critical. Government of India has to invest in treatment. Government of India has to invest in upgrading the skill, knowledge, information in this regard. And there has to be a regulation for the treatment centers that how much you should charge and what are the services you should provide.
Thank you so much for this overview. Thank you, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on drug-free India, drug trafficking and national security. The participants were Executive Director, Society for Promotion of Youth and Masses, Dr. Rajesh Kumar and Aditi Tandon, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.